Just thought I'd do another little video just inside the cab, because I spoke to a gentleman the other day and he said he quite liked my video and he wished that he'd seen a video earlier on how to make a gear stick. So I just thought I'll just show, just in case of anyone else. However, you can buy these. I can get these. I can get all the knobs. But you can see she's tidied up quite nice. She's cleaned up pretty good. It's quite nice and tidy. We're just doing the throttle cable now, just fitting that all up because we've just put the floor back in. But the dash on this is not brilliant. As you can see, a few people have cut some holes in it, so I am after a second-hand dashboard if it's at the right price. I just want the plastics. I don't need anything else. But yeah, so this is all pretty good. The steering wheel, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with the steering wheel just yet, but I'm sure we'll sort that out. As you can see, I know it's quite typical for these to wear out here on the sockets, on the ball joints. And you see whoever's done that wiring up, bit of crap, but it works kind of. So yeah, I've got to replace obviously these parts, undo these 4 bolts and take them off and get some new ones if I can, because everything else is perfectly fine. But yeah, I just got to clean out the bottom floor, so that's got to come out, just the middle section. The rest of it I don't think does come out. I think it's all welded up. Yeah, no, it should come out. I'll have a look. But yeah, that'll come out and we'll put that through the sandblaster. But yeah, that can be a later date. I just need to get it running now. And while I had the clutch out and done all the brakes, lovely chair, eh? God blimey, it half hurts. I have to get something a bit softer than that, but there we are. But yeah, I just thought I'd just show you the inside of the cab, considering what it was like before. But yeah, so there we are, just a little view on the inside. Hopefully when I do another video on the inside of the cab, it'll look a bit more cleaner. I'm gonna sandblast it all down, get a sandblaster in here, sandblast some of this down and clean it up, and we'll slowly put her back to how she was when she come out of the factory. So looking good, coming along. Right, so this is where we are. So basically what I've done is I've obviously used some filler on the inside, and the filler I used on the inside was P40. Basically it's a fiberglass compound filler. So I've used that, so that's what you would use on the inside on something like this. The whole thing's fiberglass anyway, as you know, but to making the repairs. Then on the outer side, like, you know, here where the massive cracks were, basically what I've done is, and obviously down there, that's a bit of stopper. Come to that in a minute. So basically I've used P38 filler on top to fill in all the dents, sanded that all down, and then obviously I went over the top with a filler primer, which is the yellow primer. So I mixed up some of that and I just sprayed that on, and then basically flatted it down with P320, yep, wet and dry. So that's what I've used. So I've gone over that and it's all nice and smooth, all feels good, just the way I like it, all nice, a little bit wet there still. And then obviously I've gone over with a few little bits of stopper, which is a very, very fine filler. You can go basically straight on top with that, and it fills all the little minor defects in the paintwork. And as you can see, there's not many, so there's only there and around there. But apart from that, it's all pretty good. So I'm quite happy with that, looking good. So yeah, all the cracks now are repaired. So it's now ready for some top paint. So we'll go straight on with, I'll flat these bits down, whack a little bit of primer over that and then flat it down again. And then what we do is we'll go straight on with a nice dark black plastic bumper paint is what I will use on this, the plastic bumper paint. And then we'll lacquer that on top of that to give it a nice shine. So the next video you will see will be me lacquering it. I used a sanding block to get it nice and even, was what I used. So yep, it's coming along. Working with fiberglass is quite easy. I think it's a lot easier than working with most stuff, including plastics. Plastics can be a bit of a pain, but yeah, it's good. So it's looking good. I'm quite happy with this, and I think it'll be a nice piece when it's done. So yeah. Right, as you can see, I've now fiberglassed the cracks up. Basically, what I sealed the cracks up with a little bit of fiberglass sheets was what I used, and obviously where it was like, say for instance, it was cracked down there and it was kind of like apart, I used these clips. It's exactly the same, very similar to what I used back when I done the dashboard. If you haven't seen the JCB dashboard, me basically doing a restoration on a dashboard, making the repairs, feel free to have a look at that video. It's quite interesting, quite clever. You know, once you've done one dashboard, you more or less can do them all. It's quite simple, a bit like fiberglassing really, but I want to make it nice and thick because obviously I want it to be nice and strong, and that's I've reinforced where the nuts should be. So yeah, that's basically what I've done. So it's quite simple really. Right, let's turn it up and have a quick look. Right, so I've turned it up. As you can see, that's that crack there. That's nicely sealed up, looks pretty good. That's that crack there, that's quite nasty, but it's nice and strong. That, well, I don't know what quite happened there, but it was a massive hole when it should only be a small hole. So that's all got to be just sanded down and then filled. As you can see, I've reinforced them like that. So yeah, it's looking quite a bit more solid, put it that way, which is a great start. So yeah, that's good. So now it's just basically let that dry because it's still a little wet. I reinforced that little bit there on the inside, and there was another bit somewhere here I did. It might have been that bit, but yeah. So now basically let that dry, and then it's just a case of a little sand down on top there, and then obviously fill all these little bits, so it's all nicely filled in. There's quite a lot. There's a lot of filler on this, you know, just little bits and all this to be filled in. And then obviously once it's all filled in, we flat it all down, and then we give it a quick primer, and then we give it its lovely top coat, which I'm just going to use a black dashboard paint with a bit of lacquer on top to give it a bit of shine. So it'll look good when it's done. Right, and that's the outcome after it's been sprayed in a black 2-pack, a gloss black. So I'm really happy with that, considering it was all cracked and quite badly damaged. It's come out pretty well. So now it's time to fit it back into the JCB. Right, so it's in and it looks really good. Obviously the lighting's not very good in here at the present moment because the JCB is covered up with a dust cover, but yeah, there we are. I'm really happy with that. I've just got to put the screws on and bolt it down, and we are done. Right, this is just going to be a small video on how to replace the levers. Now, previously this one had all this wrapped around it like that, on there just to hold it. Now, I did a video where I kind of got really angry because what it was, I got JCB running for the first time after the clutch and the brakes, and we were doing like a test drive. And basically what happened was this one kept popping out, kept popping off, and I had the ump because someone done all this. You know, you have to keep going like that to push it back in, and then go like that, and obviously you're putting your arm back down again. So I got the ump and I threw a bit of a wobbly. I was filming it. Well, I did do a film. I filmed a section where I was throwing a little bit of a wobbly, a bit of the ump. I wasn't going to post it, but a couple of friends said to me, you know, it's really funny, Dean, you know, you should put that on your video. That's quite hilarious. So basically, yes, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm getting the ump because of people doing bodge ups like this. I don't agree with it. I understand if it gets you out of trouble, but you know for a fact when people are doing all this, That's not to get you out of trouble. You know, so I've got the ump. So what we're going to do is today we're going to strip these all down, pull them off. I'm going to give them a lick of paint, tidy them up and fit them back again. So obviously there's going to be a bit of a time lapse, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So you can, two options, you can probably get new ones or second-hand ones. I think they do new ones which are quite square, bit squarer and a bit weird looking. I'm sure they look good when they go over with the rubber boot, which I've got the original rubber boots, but with this clamp on, obviously they don't fit, so that's why they're not on. They were in a bucket inside the JCB when I bought it, so we'll fit them back on just temporary for today. So that's what I'll do. So I'm going to have a look, take these apart and see what's really going wrong, and then we can go from there really. So while I'm going to be undoing a few bits and stripping this wire off, okay, you can go and watch the video. So you're going to watch the video right now. I'm going to be honest with my videos, and if I do offend you in any way, I apologise, but you've got to be a complete and utter twat to put duct tape in there to try and get this to work. You know, a temporary fix like that is dangerous. You know, all this wire around the entire wraps. This is what you call, and look, this is, if any of you do this, just stop. Just stop. You know, not even a temporary, just stop. It's not worth it. This is absolutely ridiculous. So basically, when you pull the lever, she keeps popping out. It's fucked. Just buy a new one. End of story. Don't try and fix things by bodging it up like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this is what I'm finding all through this JCB, is just bodge ups after bodge ups. Like bits of string to turn the engine off, wrapped around a spring, which I've now changed. I've moved it onto the proper rod. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So now I've got to try and sort this out now. Yeah, so you know, things like this just wind me up. They really do. They really get to me, because I sort of think you've got to be a complete and utter arsehole to even think of doing something like that. Just buy a new piece. End of story. It costs you 100 quid. It costs you 100 quid. That's the best way around it. Right, I'm glad you see the video, and I'm sure it was quite funny. Right, now what you need to do is with this at the back, at the actual back of this, at the back there, just here, there's actually this actual socket here has a bolt. It's a 22mm on it, and what you do is you undo that, which winds it up. Now obviously, because this is worn, I'll show you. So this pops off. So there you've got a better look at it there. Okay, as you can see, look at all the duct tape. This is all, they even put duct tape around it. They've done all sorts of stuff. Now they do wear. You can buy these. You can buy these parts. You can buy them. So I think they're about 30 quid, something like that. But yeah, you can buy these. So anyway, what you do is you slide this that way, right? Slide it, right? So you slide it. Hang on, you need two hands on this. So you slide it, and it'll come off. It'll pop off like that. There you are. It'll pop off. So you slide it across, and then slide it the other way, and then that comes out. Now, if we look very carefully, we can see it's not even. There's a lot of wear in that. And look at that. Look, see this here? Now, let me just put this down to give you a rough idea so I can show you. Now, if you look at this, look at it here. It's all worn. And that's why it's not popping in. Now, that is supposed to unhook off. What you do is you undo this. So what you do is, because obviously I can't show you on that one, it's not properly. You undo that with a 22mm spanner. Now, to get your spanner in there, I've had to chop one to get that on there like that. Yeah, so you undo this first, and when this comes out, this lifts up and pulls the lever forward, and then what you do is you kind of just unhook and slide this out, and then these slide side to side. They come out one side at a time. So that's how we're going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you on this one. Right, so on this one, it's the opposite way around. So that's basically, where's my spanner gone now? I just had it a minute ago. Oh, it's on there. So now that goes on there like that. Okay. And then what you do is you just give it a little tap this way, and that'll basically undo. So basically, a little bit of plus gas. That's what I like to use. It's good stuff. These shouldn't really be in too tight, but like, you know, if the cab's been off, it can rust. So I'll give it a little bit of plus gas and it undoes nicely. So what you need to do is this won't come off. You won't get this off. You need to undo this big nut, this big one first. All right, yep, that's going to fall like that. Pain in the arse, but there we are. So that one's off anyway. But so you undo this big nut. You've got to wind this all the way up until it comes completely out. Once it's completely out, then basically it slides side to side. So I'll stay here with the video. Now I've sawn this off so it can fit in there. It'll fit underneath there. Obviously sometimes you have to do these things. Sorry, you don't need to stand over the hoover. Not right this second, no. I need to hoover all this mess. Look at the state of it. So you keep winding it. Now what that's doing is it's pushing it up. And then eventually you can get this out, and then you just unhook it out of there, and then you slide this side to side and she pops out. But this is not a really good example of showing you because it's a mullered one and it keeps playing games like that. I'll be glad to see the back of this, because the annoying thing about it was I couldn't move the back boom, and all I wanted to do was do a test drive on the JCB, and I just couldn't move the back boom because of basically this lot here. So that's why I got the ump, really, because I was excited to do some work with the front bucket by flattening. I've got some big massive ditches and lumps and holes in the front of my drive, and it was, some of my cars were grinding out, and some of the big boys' cars you couldn't take out because it would smash the underneath up. So it was kind of like, now that comes out like that. Well, it's not supposed to look like that, but then that comes out like that. It literally slides out like that. I think we can work out what's wrong with this anyway. They don't look too bad. They don't look too bad at all. But you can see that one there where it's worn. Here it's worn. So there's two options. Like I say, you can either replace these or get some second-hand ones. Or what you could do is grind this down, blob a weld in there, and then grind and sand it all down to suit and fit, which is probably what I'm going to do. So when I come to fit these, they're going to be in red oxide primer, because I'll probably might as well just clean the whole lot up and make them look nice and new. So we're going to do that now. Hopefully that'll be done by the end of the day, and we can continue the video in this lovely sunny weather. Right, once it's all cleaned up, so I've cleaned it all up. Give it a little hoover out all the rust here, but we'll sort this out. Don't worry about that. So the little lock-in washers, clean them up, put them back. You don't want to lose them because they're quite important. They come off like that, and they just clip in. Just a little hole there. But yeah, so put them back on. So it's all been cleaned up. I've welded up the pieces and sanded them down. It's just basically the case of having a look at them now and seeing if they go on correctly. I checked with one of the ball joints, this one here, to make sure it all went in, but it looks to be pretty good. So I'm just going to go and grab them. They should be dry by now, so let me go and grab them and I'll fit them on. I'll just pause the video for a second. So basically I've just got them, I've given them a lick of paint, I've welded them up now so they're looking half decent. So hopefully that should work. So now what we've got to do is just basically fit them. So we'll find what one's the right one. This one goes on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the ball socket in there, the pivot socket in there, and then just slide it on over and then on like that. So it's gonna, and then obviously I'll wind that in. So let me just put the camera down. 1 second. Oh. Right, so that's that bit done. That's that bit completed. That all works lovely. Oh my goodness me, it's like a dream. Oh, it feels so good. Wow. Now it's to do the other one. So I'll do the other one, fit that. Exactly the same procedure. This one's a lot easier because it's at the front. So we'll just slot that in, and then that one will be working as well. So it'll be a fix. Done. There we are, as you can see. So now all I've got to do is just wind this bolt in, and she'll fit in, and that'll come down nice and be level with that lever. So there we are. So I'll just do that now. As you can see, as I'm winding it, she's coming down slowly. Well, you can't see that, but yeah, it's just slowly coming down. And this is just a quick video just to show you on how to do a quick fix. You know, if you need to replace one, or you've got a problem with your levers and you're not too sure why it's popping out, it just gives you that, there we are, just gives you that idea. The other good thing, well, what I've kind of worked out, considering the state of these levers, I think that this tractor was vandalized. I think someone's, you know, the glass has been broken. I think kids have got in here, broke the glass, and actually literally kicked these and booted these to break them, because, you know, to me they were in a right mess. Oh my goodness me, this is like winning the lottery. It works. None of that screaming and shouting now and me losing my temper. So that's good now. So it's a fix, you know. Like I say, just take your time on these things and you can fix them, and you know, they'll be as good as new. So that's lovely. I'm quite happy with that. So now it all works, and I've managed to put the little rubber boots on. So yeah, it's all good. So there we are, guys. As you can see, she's slowly coming along. I've got to sort out the fuel tank. That's the next thing to do, because obviously this is how they've used it when I got it. So I'm going to have to clean the fuel tank out, get a power jet in there and blast it all out, sort that out, get that working properly, because I don't want a tank on the side. That's just, you know, that's just wrong. I know some people bolt a new tank on the side of their tractor, but I don't want all that. I want it back to how it should be. So as you can see, these are army tyres. Quite interesting. So yeah, she's coming along. She's getting there. Bucket's in quite good condition. Good shape on the bucket. Not all bent up like some of them. So she's well, they're pretty hard to bend, I suppose. But yeah, so she's pretty good. So it's just a case of just sorting her out, I guess. We're getting there. Obviously in the summer I'll get that cab off and we'll weld that cab up. We'll build a new cab. But yeah, she looks pretty good. Like I say, she's a loyal old girl. Today we're gonna start her up and get her moved out of here. So she's gonna be moved away from here. Now the clutch is done, I can actually start working on this. But I've got a few odds and sods jobs to do around the house and the yard. So we'll do that within the next couple of weeks when it warms up. And then I'll start doing some work on her. I will keep sharing videos on how I do little tasks on the JCB, just in case it helps anyone else out with their videos. But I just thought I'll show you a little video of today. Right, cleaning the fuel tank out on a JCB 3C. Basically, it is a little difficult because you can't get into the tank. So basically, we've stuck a camera down in through that hole, and we've had a good look in the tank, and yeah, there's a little bit of should we say rust and bits and pieces in there, which isn't good. So we've used basically the good old Henry Hoover, sucking up all the bits. So we're slowly getting all the little bits out. As you can see, there's quite a few. One big problem is the pipe. You can't see through. Look at that. The pipe's completely mullered, so that's an issue on its own. So that's kind of where I am right now. So we're just sucking it all out with the hoover. Then we'll stick the camera down there again and have another little look and make sure it's all lovely jubbly in there. And then eventually we'll flush it all through. Fit a new hose, which I've managed to source. So that basically goes on the end of there. And then that then goes into there, because obviously that's where you fill it up from. So obviously over the years, where should we say builders or whoever's had the tractor before, they put their diesel in buckets and they pour their buckets of diesel in there. Bottom of the bucket is all grit and dirt, and this is what happens. They slowly get clogged up. So we're clearing it out, we're getting there. This is one of my ways around things. So we'll just see how it goes, and hopefully we can get rid of this hideous fuel tank that I've got sitting on the side. So that's the plan. So we're getting there. Serious suction on it. Good old Henry, the older ones are better. About 30 years old, this one. Line on it, give it a good blast in there as well, and then suck it up. You can buy the cameras online quite cheap, 30-40 quid. So basically it's just connecting all the pipes up now. So we just connected up this pipe going up into, so the excess fuel goes into the tank. It's a nice new pipe, new Jubilee clip, so that's all been fitted. So it's just now, all I've got to do is get a spanner out. It's a spanner to undo that. And then what I'll do is I'll feed that through, feed that up underneath. Up underneath. Oh, here we go. Up underneath there where it's dripping from, because I flushed it through. So yeah, that's what we do. Oh, as you can see, it's nice and clean underneath there. Alright, so that's got to sort that out. But yep, there we are. So I cleaned up the pipe, put it into a little bit of my special paint, as I call it. And we'll sort this properly later on. So see. But apart from that, so it's just put that all on, connect it all up, and then what we do is fill it up with diesel, and then we bleed her through, and then we'll have her trundling and firing up and running once again. So that's how you do it. I don't really want this thing on the side. Some people put tanks on the side. If that's your way around things, then that's your way around things, but not for me. They drive me mad. I like things to be perfect and running properly. So let's see how she goes from now. And there we are. I didn't even need to bleed it. It just fired up, and I put my foot on the accelerator, revved it, kept my foot on the accelerator all the way through, and then this is where we are now. So yeah, she's running pretty sweet. I'm probably going to up the rev slightly, because now I can do all that. But yeah, that ugly tank is now gone, so I'm quite pleased with that. So that's that finished. So the tank's all cleaned out nicely. We went in there with the camera, looks nice and clean in there. The hoover done a good job, we flushed it all out. There you are, it's done. So sometimes you can do it this way, sometimes you can't. Sometimes there is too much shit in there and it's a long process. But I was quite impressed, it weren't that bad really. But yeah, the most problem really was the pipe was all collapsed inside. So when you fill it up with fuel, she basically all backed up and fell out. So that was the problem. But yeah, it's now working pretty good. Now we put a new pipe on it and cleaned it up, so that's all good. Right, as you can see, we're just making the final adjustments to the accelerator. getting that in. But she's a loyal old girl, lovely old girl, as you can see. She's been painted twice in her life. Well, she was originally green when she come out of the army. She was painted green from the factory. There was obviously a whole fleet of them. But obviously when she was bought at auction, the hire company that bought her basically just painted everything. You can just see, just painted literally everything was just yellow. But in her lifetime, she has been painted twice yellow. The outside has actually had a second coat of yellow. The bucket is really funny. On some parts you can find some little really fine green bits on the bucket. But I don't know whether that was the army painting it green again. I don't know, but I'm going to keep the bucket red for safety, just so it can be seen. But yeah, she's coming along slowly, very slowly. The only thing is, you've got old Dave there. He keeps laying down on a job. Not very happy about that, but there we are. Soon sort him out. But there we are. So it's coming along, looking good. Just doing the throttle here, as you can see. We've got the pipe just there. That's the pipe. That's it there. And that basically comes onto here with this. As you can see, someone's just plopped that in. That's not a JCB part, and that's just plopped in like that. So basically go over a big bump and it'll come out, and then the accelerator is either stuck on or comes off. So that's got to go on there. Basically that pipe goes onto there, and then we're gonna actually thread this part at the bottom. We're gonna thread that bit there at the bottom there, put a thread in there so it's loose but it threads in, so it just don't pop out. And then obviously it's loose in there, so it won't get stuck or anything. Sorry, loose in there so it won't get stuck. But yeah, this is the off. Turning the machine off is this load of crap. But okay, we'll have to sort that out properly, but one job at a time, I guess. But yeah, that's just showing you what we're actually doing today. It's just connecting up the accelerator bar all the way through into the cab, which is a little fiddly, but when you've got a little garden gnome underneath there doing it, you're all right, so it's all good. But yeah, we're getting there.